Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this July 1st version. July 1st version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad that you are here with us today on this hot July day. And all of our content is available, like always, at EOA.network. And glad that you're here. It's just Kyle and I today in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Already had a catastrophe this morning. My chair got hung up and it caught the desk and I knocked my coffee over all over the place.
Yeah, so now we found a new tablecloth for you.
Yeah, I got a nice new clean.
Yeah, mine's all crappy and ugly.
But I'd rather not have the sticky. I think I'll have to, for the next couple of days, just kind of find sticky spots and clean them up.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't attract any ants.
Yeah.
I've never seen ants in here, I don't think.
No. Well,
No.
hey, so you had a busy week last week, man.
I did. Spent pretty much the whole week at least during the daytime, down at the baseball fields, either volunteering or taking pictures and just smoozing, talking with people. It was good. It was good. There's a lot of people, and all of these kids eventually will be high schoolers in this, especially they're all from our district too, so it's kind of cool to see. I haven't really gotten into this part of being able to see these kids at this young of an age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They start, it was all the way from 10 up to 14, I think, and 10U up to juniors, and so I haven't really got to catch a lot of these kids, that early in their athletics career.
Did you see any that were standouts?
Oh, yeah. There's a few where you're just like, oh, yeah, this isn't even fair. Well, I saw that during the regular season,
right,
too.
yeah.
Like where kids were like, there's a girl that was in coach pitch, which is like little kids.
Right, yeah.
It's like the step above T-ball.
Right, yeah.
And she had no business playing in it. She should have been on the 12-year-old team.
Right.
And that's where you start worrying about kids getting hurt, because if you have a girl that's just crushing the ball and you got kids out there that can't catch,
right?
But yeah, there was some kids that really stood out, like good athletes, good athletes. It's not like when I was a kid though. We had every age here in town had two teams of all-stars, every age. Now they're struggling to get a full team at some ages. You know what I mean? Just because there's not as many kids.
Yeah.
But back in the days, Wallowa had their own team, which they do, but they combine with Union County.
Right.
In some of the ages. Union County does have teams in some of the ages, but Snake River Valley had two teams. Baker had two teams. Every age back in the days, and now you just see it's more one team or even struggling to get a team in some areas. A lot of Union County only has a few teams. They don't have enough kids to, and it's all political too with that, because there's some, and I hate to say this, but there's some Union County kids at some age levels play with Wallowa. At some age levels, they play with LeGrand, and I think they kind of pick and choose. I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, it's very political, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Got a new hat.
That's nice looking.
I paid for this one.
It's
though.
got the flag.
Yeah. I supported
You don't
Little
pay
League.
for many hats.
No, but this helped support Little League, so
yeah,
I bought this hat.
Good.
I like this new hat.
All right. Well, hey, do you want to do sports,
Let's
man?
do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. See why customers love the Flex Steel Z-Cliner. Its unmatched comfort and wellness benefits are clear. It's designed to help you rest better every day. Try it yourself at Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big red rocking chair on Elm off Adams in the Grand. The 2025 District 3 All-Star Tournament, which we were just talking about, officially ended yesterday with a tough loss by the LeGrand junior softball team to Blue Mountain in the championship. The junior softball team beat Blue Mountain the first time. There was only 3 teams in this division. They beat Blue Mountain the first time and then lost to them 2 times in a row to end up losing the district championship. They put solid teams, though, LeGrand did, on the field in every age, but ultimately they were unable to bring home any district championships. I have tons of pictures that I'll slowly be putting up on EOA Live over the next few weeks. The ones that you're seeing on the screen now are just some of the ones that I've already released of the 10U baseball division. The champions for each division: softball, 10U, Hermiston; 12U, softball, Hermiston; juniors, softball, Blue Mountain; and then we move over to baseball, 10U, Blue Mountain; 11U, Pendleton; 12U, which LeGrand played in the championship of this division as well. Blue Mountain ultimately ended up taking that championship. And then juniors baseball, LeGrand played in the championship of this one as well, and Baker ended up taking the championship in that one. And I'm just going to read this directly from the District 3 Little League Facebook page. The week was a great success thanks to 100+ volunteers who stepped up to give our athletes the opportunity to compete and communities a chance to come together. LeGrand Little League did an amazing job hosting the event, field prep, concessions, announcing, umpiring, and all the little tasks that make it all work. Happened amazingly well. District 3 is by far the largest district in the state and always has the largest district tournament. This year with no exception. They played 72 games in LeGrand this last week and are sending 7 great teams on to the state tournament. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a pretty fun week. It was hot and it was tiring, but it was very fun. Last weekend, the Tiger Trap team traveled to the Hillsboro Trap and Skeet Club to compete in the Oregon Clay Target League State Championship. Despite challenging weather conditions, the athletes showed incredible focus and determination. They placed 8 out of 40 teams in the 1A conference, and 2 shooters earned special awards for their performance in the spring male in season. Now, I didn't write this, so I don't know who those athletes are. I told somebody if they wanted a post about it, they could write an article and I would post it and the picture. So that they did that. They celebrated new personal bests, cheered each other on, and shared some bittersweet moments as their seniors took their final shots at the high school tournament. Their legacy of sportsmanship and grit will echo for seasons to come. And that's thank you to Tosh Decote, who I'm going to butcher her last name, Decato, I think, for the article and for the pictures. On Thursday, we'll talk some Legion baseball and some travel softball, and we're going to talk quite a bit coming up in the next few weeks about the, oh man, here it comes, 2025 Oregon East-West Shrine All-Star Football Game, which will be live streamed right here on EOA Live on July 26th at 6 p.m. AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. They want to make you comfortable in your own home.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just told Tosh, I was like, I don't have time right now to cover track. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just don't. But if you write it all out, I'll post it and I'll give you credit for it. And so.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you all out there. I mean, if you have an event or you have something that has public interest, and we can, you can make our jobs easier by writing something and supplying the pictures.
Yeah. You'll get credit for it.
Man, we'll pass it on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're happy to be. It was kind of one of the original concepts when I started at EOA Live, was to kind of be a clearinghouse for other people's information. I mean, talking about parents and, so that's awesome. All right, cool. Well, let's take a look outside.
Hot.
Yeah. Our weather segment's brought to you by CHD, Developmental Disabilities, as you saw there. Yeah, so it's warm again today.
95
Let's
today.
take a look at that weather. Yeah, 95 I think was the high. 62 tonight. Yeah, even last night it took a while. It was probably 2 or 3 in the morning before it was cool.
95 is warm.
Yeah, 90 tomorrow, 89. So it looks like it's coming down a little bit. 4th of July, which is Friday, which we haven't even talked about. But yeah, So 4th of July is looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. No rain.
Not super hot either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, our weather segment is brought to you by CHD Developmental Disabilities. Take a look at this. All right. Thank you for that, and thank you for CHD for sponsoring that segment and, again, helping us cover the information that you all are getting for free, wherever you might be today. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, we're back. Glad that you guys are here with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're back.
So,
Got stood up on the guest today. We had a guest today.
we had it figured out.
Yeah, we got stood up.
Yeah.
It
But
happens every once in a great while.
Yeah. And there was something in my head I was going to mention to you, but so I mean, I've been that shooting in
Idaho.
just
Yeah,
bonkers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What's wrong with people?
Yeah, I don't know if you all
Sad.
followed that, but it's like there was, I don't know, somebody started a fire and then when they got there they ambushed them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In the beginning, they were thinking that it might be that guy that killed his daughters that was on the run.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I haven't seen anything else about it. But I mean, that's a person that's like either really pissed or desperate. You know what I mean? I don't know what.
Well, and what I can't figure out is like, why firefighters? You know what I mean? I mean, there
has to be some sort of tie. I would think like maybe he got maybe.
Yeah, there's certainly resentment for cops, but firefighters. I mean, what do they do but just like
maybe
preserve
it was something
life and
personal
property?
with
Maybe
a firefighter, and it just carried over. Into,
I don't.
Who knows? I mean, I don't want to speculate.
No,
on
but it's like
that.
that's just there's some things that are just kind of hard to understand.
It's really sad.
Well, and you for those family members, two officers died, right? And another one's in critical condition or something like that.
Yep.
And it's like, for those families that send their loved one away every day, you worry about, if you're a fire spouse, you worry about them dying in the line of duty and something. You don't normally worry about them getting shot.
No.
Yeah. So that's.
No, it's just, yeah. It's so sad. Those people probably had kids, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Nobody deserves that.
No. Well, and it's so close. Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, right down the road.
Yeah.
Well, not right down the road. But
Right, but still, I was just there visiting my brother Brian, a month ago. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
It's crazy.
Well, what else is going on?
Nothing. Just get ready for a shrinking game. That's going to be my my agenda for the next few weeks is just getting things set for July 26th.
Yep.
It's a big day for us.
Boy, for sure.
Yeah.
That's our biggest production event of the year by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me mention just for a minute the city manager selection process that's going on at the city, and I will kind of tell you what I know. I'm pretty sure that this is about 98% accurate because I've talked to several different people about this. So the city narrowed down to 4 candidates. This was like a month ago. They had a meet and greet. Maybe it wasn't that long ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago.
It was the 11th. The meet and greet was on the 11th.
Yeah. Okay. And so then, and at that point, they had narrowed that down to 4 candidates. Yep. And then they had the meet and greet, and then the city council met with my understanding, this selection committee has 3 different parts. Now, I don't know who actually votes. My guess is that the city council, they're the ones that hire the city manager. But as part of selection committee, they have broadened that out. And so the 3 parts of the selection committee are the city council members, which I think there are 7 of them, and then the stakeholders. Now, the stakeholders, and this was something I learned, the stakeholders are the people that work with the city manager on a routine basis. Like, there was a county commissioner, I'm sure, or maybe a couple of them, but representatives of people that work with the city on a regular basis or work with the city manager. And then the third group was the managers of the current departments. So the police chief and the public works department and the parks department and the library. So those are all managers that are hired by the city manager. They are accountable directly to the city manager. Okay, so those 3 people were those 3 groups were part of the selection committee, and the bottom line is that they couldn't come to a consensus with the 4 candidates. And so they have continued the search, the bottom line. And so I'm not sure what that means. I think maybe they've gone back to some of the candidates that they didn't.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. And so and this whole process was, to step back a little bit, the city hired a company to help do the advertising and vet the candidates that were a part of the initial pool. And so anyhow, so that's kind of where I know that's where they are.
I don't like that word stakeholder for that. The stakeholder makes me think like somebody with a vested interest, like a monetary interest in.
Yeah, that is a fairly common.
Yeah.
That is a fairly common term, and it doesn't necessarily mean, monetarily. So the stakeholders in our company would be.
Yeah, but how do you decide who's important enough to make that decision?
I don't know. Well, I'm sure that at the end of the day, it's the city council is the one. They're the ones that have the power,
right.
And so then, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's kind of what I know.
So what happens if they don't hire somebody and it's time for him to retire?
Well,
Isn't his retirement date like really soon?
No, I think. Well, I would imagine that he's just going to stay on until they have. Because I do know that part of the accommodation is that whenever they do have a new city manager, that Robert will mentor him for at least a month. Mentor might not be the good word, but
show him the rope.
Showing the rope and kind of the systems that are in place. So I would imagine that they've got that figured out.
So it could be a while.
Yeah.
Really. If they're going to dig back through applications, I don't really see a point in that, though. Like, if you already got to the point where you've picked 4, what makes people think that your decision the first time wasn't, you know what I mean? That would be like, I don't know.
I don't know. The thing that is always on my mind with a key position, and it doesn't, it's the same thing. It's the, CEO of the hospital, president of EOU, city manager. They're all very important positions in our community. And you always worry about, or you hope that there's somebody who loves Eastern Oregon and will stay. They're not just using it as a stepping stone to get to another position.
Oh, like the Chamber of Commerce does.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud?
You did say that out loud. But that is a fairly common, that's a fairly common thing. I mean, in communities our size are always dealing with that kind of thing, where people will come, they're trying to gain experience so that they can climb the ladder and go somewhere else. So, makes me have a keen appreciation for people that invest in the community, their leadership. And Gary Bell is a perfect example of, like, he's a great police chief, and he's there because he grew up here and he loves East. We don't have to worry about him
jumping ship,
going
to Baker
somewhere
or
else.
something.
Yeah.
Putting on the purple and gold.
Yeah. So, anyhow, I did go. They did have the city council call for projects, or it's the urban renewal call for projects. Like, man,
I watched some of that.
yeah, that was riveting stuff,
A
wasn't it?
snoozer.
Yeah.
My God. I made it about 10 minutes, and I was just like,
Oh, I tell you, I was
nod,
so
nod.
irritated. Did you notice the cheesy camera shot of the screen? Did you? It was awful.
I only watched a little bit of.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a camera shot of the screen?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
and-
did see that.
Yeah, and so what happened was, I have a direct feed from the PowerPoint. We tested it earlier that I could pull right into the vMix system and all of that. And then, literally 5 minutes.
It took a dump.
We couldn't get it to work.
Computers.
Yeah, and so I literally had to run. Yeah, so there was a cable running across the desks to get to that laptop. It was just
Yeah, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can watch it. It's on the
yeah.
It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Basically what they did last night was decide who got grant money, right?
Yeah.
Essentially,
So
different businesses downtown.
right, and it was. I think the thing that was interesting. So the city gives. They part of the urban renewal funding is there's $350,000 a year available to help businesses.
Right.
And, primarily it's to encourage businesses with building projects or something like that employ people. Ultimately that's when the city can invest in something and it creates jobs, and those jobs, that's what makes the world go round. And so
what happens to the other 100,000? Because they only used about 242.
I don't know. It goes back into the kitty somewhere. I don't know. There was some conversation. Well, does that mean because what happened last night was there were only 4 call for projects, and none of them were as impactful as some of the past projects that we've had. Put it that way. And so they weren't very exciting. And the city council was fairly vocal about how unexcited they were about those 4 particular projects. And
I thought it was funny when they were talking about the name of the what was it? What was the name?
Yeah,
of that
I know what you mean. Yeah,
It's Rock the Cash Bar, the Hotel Cash Bar. Or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. I had no idea where that name came from.
It's from that song.
Well, I know.
Rock the Cash Bar.
Yeah. So anyhow. But I think what was notable is that, a couple of different people said is that because of construction prices right now are so high, and materials primarily, is that people are not investing in big projects because I'm talking about ordinary people.
Right.
There's a big center that's going on out in the business park that, we probably think is something to do with Amazon. Well, they're not really affected by the economic construction prices that normal people are.
No.
Yeah, and so then because of that, You know, the big projects that somebody might start from nothing that would impact our area, they're just way more complicated to do. So, but I was talking to a builder, you know, I mean, a year ago when I was trying to understand the housing crisis and stuff, is that nobody is building houses on spec. No. In other words, they're not building a house the way they want it and then selling it, because by the time they can't get their money back out of it.
Right.
By the time they paid the contractor and they paid for the all of the effort to do it, sometimes they're just breaking even or even losing money. So
which isn't really
like,
the point of doing
yeah,
it.
who's going to build? Who's going to do that? Not somebody in their right mind.
No.
So anyhow, anything else you can think of going on?
No, not really.
So
Same old stuff.
yeah, all
Except
right.
for it's hot, and we're getting ready for busy time for the next 3 weeks or so.
Yep, that's right. Well, so the 4th of July is this Friday, which is be a good, fun 3-day weekend. I'm not sure what we're doing with our 3-day. I know what we're doing on Friday. So
Same thing we do every year.
yeah. So there's 2 events. Let me start one with the one that we're the most significantly involved in, and that is Thunder at the Peak. Take a look at this little video real quick. All right, and Bennett and Kyle will be up on the hill.
Fighting rattlesnakes and everything.
Yeah, like, is that hole 1 up there? What hole is that up there?
10.
Okay.
Or 1. I don't know. It's 1 or 10. I don't remember.
Anyhow,
I get them mixed up all the time.
yeah, at the very top, they have a great view of the fireworks from up there, and that we'll be streaming that. That will be live here. You know, normally it's around 9:30ish or something like that. Whenever the sky is dark enough that it justifies that happening. So anyhow, and there's cornhole. The cornhole tournament is going to start at 5, and that is going to be up at the parking lot of the event. So be sure and take that in. And then food trucks will be downtown for the evening meal. So that's this Friday afternoon and evening. Now, on Friday noon, we will also be streaming the Embler Parade. The Embler Parade will actually start at noon. If you want to be a part of the parade, then you can meet at the school at 11 o'clock with your vehicle or your float or your group or whatever. They are also going to have food trucks that are going to be where the store is, which is right down the middle of Embler. There'll be some food trucks that will be there for lunch for whatever crowd might be there. So, what's that?
Oh, it just made my brain just fired. Speaking of that store's closing, BC.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking. It's for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to own a store, yeah. So yeah, and I guess the parade route they go from north to south. So then from
the Elgin side,
from the
to
Elgin
the LeGrand
end towards
side.
LeGrand.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's probably the biggest parade in the whole valley.
It will be fun to be there.
I've been there before.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe. I mean, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but maybe put the drone in the air too, and that'd be kind of fun to get it a couple of different ways. So, anyhow, so that is happening. So those 2 big events. So at noon in Embler on the 4th, and then Also starting at 5 and beyond in Union.
Yeah,
So,
cornhole at 5, vendors from 6 to 9.
yep.
And then we'll live stream the fireworks right here on the EOA Live.
Yeah, and when when you go to those events, that it just reminds you of the goodness of Eastern Oregon. It really does. And I've said this many times, but Buffalo Peak, watching the fireworks out there is just a beautiful opportunity. Bring the lawn chair, bring mosquito spray, but all of those little hills that make up that beautiful golf course. It's kind of the fireworks are kind of down in a bowl, kind of down below, and so you just have the opportunity to sit, and you can either sit with the group, with other people, or you can find your own little knob for your family. The kids just kind of run around and do stuff. Last time they had some, and I'm sure they will too, they'll have some concessions and drinks and stuff that you can buy. So just a great opportunity. So be sure and don't miss that. Yeah. Anything else, man?
That's all I got.
Yeah. We're glad that you guys are here with us, and glad that Kyle's back in the studio.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It's weird when you do it by yourself.
It was kind of fun doing it out and about.
No, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's discreet enough that people don't know what the heck's going on. You know what I mean? Because I'm just on a table with an iPad. You know what I mean? Essentially. But at the same time, it gives us a whole different element to the morning show now that we'll be able to, go out and about if there's certain events going on or whatever.
Yeah. No, I had an appreciation. I mean, when I was here by myself, I thought of John Mallory, how he can just rattle on.
Yeah, it's a gift. Like
it really, I mean, I don't know. I'm anyhow.
Yeah, and he rattles with just limited notes. I mean, literally his show thing would be like the headline of each, we broke it down into 15-minute segments. Yeah. And it would just be whatever we're talking about during that 15 seconds, like 3 words for each 15 minutes. And then he would just
take off.
Yeah, but there's some people that just like hearing themselves talk, and he's one of them.
Well, I was going to say that. I was going to say when I get to listening to myself talking, and then I think, my gosh, I am boring myself.
Yeah, then you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, then it's like, those people on the other end have just got to be absolutely bored. But thank you guys for watching us and being here. So, you want to get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, July 1st, 1847, the first U.S. postage stamps go on sale. The 5-cent Franklin and 10-cent Washington, NYC. 1859, this is crazy. I don't know. They must have had different rules. The first intercollegiate baseball game. Amherst beats Williams 66-32 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. 66-32 in baseball? My goodness. 1863, on this day, the Battle of Gettysburg begins in Pennsylvania. Union forces halt Confederate General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. 1874, on this day, the first zoo opens in the United States in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1881, on this day, the first international telephone conversation from Calais, Maine to St. Stephen, New Brunswick. 1904, on this day, the third modern summer Olympic Games open in St. Louis, Missouri. It's the first held in the United States. 1966, on this day, the U.S. National Health Insurance Program, Medicare, goes into effect. 2019, on this day, Japan resumes commercial whaling after a break of more than 30 years. There's a lot of people that's a very touchy subject for a lot of people, commercial whaling. On this day, the #1 movie in America in 1995, Apollo 13. And then the quote of the day comes from Marshall McLuhan. There are no passengers on spaceship Earth. We are all crew. One more time. There are no passengers on spaceship Earth. We are all crew.
Good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
Thursday, we'll talk about travel softball. We'll talk about Legion baseball. We'll talk about Shrine a little bit, and we'll also talk about blabber. We'll blabber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Hey, thank you all for being here. Talk to you soon.